Welcome to a little. Welcome to Whiskey Games and Stuff live streaming. I felt like it being a little bit of a Friday, so the title of this video is, you know, we can have a Friday even though it's Monday. And we're just gonna do Friday. Friday is a fun game from Freeman Price from Rio Grande Games. It's a great little solo player game, and I do have a how-to video on there, and have done a few playthroughs. So as you join the chat, please feel free to ask any questions. And this is just going to be a relatively casual. It's not going to be too exciting, but I am going to enjoy this. So we're enjoying Jefferson's bourbon whiskey. Let's go ahead and take a sip. And I'll kind of give a quick rundown of what we're doing with the game. So the first thing you want to do is you want to separate out the aged cards. So you get the 3 graybeards. You'll shuffle those at random. Place those on the bottom. Then you get the brown or blackbeard aged cards. You'll shuffle those up. Place those on top. And we'll kind of get into the details of what this is as we go. Then you have your phase cards. You're going to have a green phase, a yellow phase, and a red or orange phase. Then you have your Caruso cards. So these are going to be your primarily playing cards, and like a lot of deck builder games, you're trying to improve your deck. So what we want to do is cull this deck. The beginning cards are going to be really crappy. We then will have our hazard cards. The hazards are what we're going to ultimately end up fighting. And then you'll draw and shuffle 2 pirate cards, which I've got the pirate cards that I already went ahead and drew. And then we'll put our reserve life over here, and you start off with 20 life. So let's go ahead and take another drink. And do appreciate all the people taking time to watch this video. All right, so we'll go ahead and start. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and pick 2 hazard cards. Now, because we are on the green phase, we will want to get the number that's on the green. So that's either 2 points for further exploring the island or 5 points for cannibals. We are not going to get 5 points on the opening hand because the opening decks are pretty poor. So what we will do is go ahead and put this off to the side. We are going to go ahead and try further exploring the island. So we need to get 2. And we have 3 cards that we can draw. So what we need to do is we're going to draw 3 cards. And we need this number to equal to or be higher than the 2. So we're not very good off the bat. We've got a -1. We've got another -1. And we've got a 1. So right now we are at a net -1, which means we are 3 away. So we are going to actually lose 3 healths, 3 lives. So because we're at -1, -1 to 2 is 3. Now, the nice thing about this is you can use these to cull these cards. So I'm going to use 2 of the lives that I lost to cull these -1s. These -1s will no longer be part of when we recycle through the deck. This, because we did not beat, we'll go back over here, and we're going to have to later on face that. So we'll go ahead and do 2 more hazard cards. We've got a wild animals and exploring the island. We're not going to get the 4. It's just going to be really too hard to get that 4 this early into the game. There's not that many higher pieces on there. So what we're going to go ahead and do is let's go for exploring the island. And then we are going to go ahead and draw 2 cards. We've got a week for 0 and another week. So we are 1 away. Now we can do 1 of 2 things. We can pay a life to draw another card, or we can go ahead and lose our life. And then we'll use that life to cull one of these zeros. so we don't have to face that later on. So there's a fine balance between when you want to use your life to get additional cards and when you want to press your luck. So now we've got exploring the island again and exploring the island. So if we win, this one's going to give us a life later on. This one's going to copy a card. We'll go ahead and try for this one. So I will go ahead and do 2 cards. We've got 1. Now we can stop there because 1 equals to 1. So we successfully beat this particular hazard. This will flip over, and then the next time around, we will have this to add to it. So let's go ahead and put that to a discard pile, and let's go ahead and have a drink. And for the 3 people who are watching, if you have any questions, please feel free to chat, ask the question. If I come across it and see it, I'll try and say something. And if you see any misplays during this live stream or when you watch it later, please tell me. This is a relatively simple game, but I do find that sometimes I get ahead of myself and I'll miss some things. So let's go ahead and look for our next 2 hazards. We've got further exploring the island, and we have with the raft to the wreck. Let's go ahead and go with the raft to the wreck. We're going to get 1 card. We've got a -1. So we are 1 away. We're going to lose 1 life. I'm going to use that life to cull this card. And then we'll go to our next hazard. Hopefully everybody's having a good day today. Okay, we're not going to do the wild animals. So let's going to do with the life to the wreck. We get 1 card. It's a 0. We successfully beat that one. Let's go ahead. Wild animals. We're not going to even try that one. We'll do with the raft to the wreck. Cool. This card gives us +2 life. So what you'll do is you'll tap it or put it to a 90-degree angle. I'm going to get our 2 life. 0 equals 0. So we went ahead and defeated that hazard. We'll add that to our pile. And let's go ahead and do 2 more. So we got with the raft to the wreck and another raft to the wreck. We'll go ahead and go with this one. Get 1 card. We got a -1. We are 1 away. So we will go ahead and use that life to cull that -1 so we're not having to worry about them later. So we've got the wild animals, which we're not going to bother trying. We'll do the explore the island. Got 0 and a 1. So 1 equals 1. We'll get that for the next one. And we've got some crappy cards in here, so I might take a chance and try and cull some of these cards. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and take a sip. We're going to take a chance, and we're not going to get this 5, but I think I can get rid of a bunch of cards. So 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to put us at a +1. We are 3 away. We're 4 away. So we're going to lose 4 life. But what's nice is I'm going to use those 4 life we lost to get rid of this -1 and those 0s. So we are not going to have to worry about them next time. And let's go ahead and go for our next one. So we've got further exploring the island. And we'll go to the with raft to the wreck. So we have a 1, 0, and 0. So here's what's going to be interesting is we've gone ahead and we went through our age cards. So because we went through it this first time, we're going to pick another one out of here. These cards suck. Just no other way to say it. They suck. So hopefully we don't run into those as we come along. And for those that are joining, we are playing Friday. It's a fun solo player game. If you have any questions about the games or just something in general you want to chat, please feel free to make a comment in the comment section. I will answer it if I can, but we're just kind of doing a basic playthrough. So let's go ahead and get another sip. All right, let's go ahead and do. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and try. Let's try for that one because it's going to give us. We get 2 chances there. So what? Oh, we already got it. 2 is higher than the 1, so we successfully defeated that hazard. And you want to beat the hazards because if not, you got to fight them again later on. We will go ahead and try for this one. Great. We won that hazard. Let's go for another one. All right. I like the card draw, so we're going to go for that card draw if we win it. Cool. And this is a +2 life, so we will get 2 more life. Nice. We're off to a nice little start. And I lose this game more often than I win it. And for anybody watching, we're very curious to see what your track record is on this. If you've played it, you know, how well you played it. Do you like it? And let's see. Let's go ahead and go for this one, because if we win it on our next go around, not only does it give us a 2 power, but we can double a score. So we're going to go ahead and flip over 3 cards. We've got this. Now, this is kind of a cool card to have. So even though this is a 0, if we were on the yellow phase and had to get a 5, it would actually knock it down 1 to the green phase. And if we were at the red phase, it would knock it down to the yellow phase. And I see that somebody made a chat in the chat about a super chat. I'll have to look into that. I appreciate you making the comment. That's something I'll have to look into. All right, so we get 2 more cards. Great. This is one where it's going to give us another life. So that's our second card and our third card. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and pay a life to draw 1 more card. And what this does is, even though it's a 0, it lets us take one of these cards and put it at the bottom of this deck. So I'm going to go ahead and put this life card on there so we get that life later. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put the phase card down there because we still need that 1 point. And then let's go ahead and pay 1 life to draw another card. Crap. All right. So remember when I said earlier that these cards are the horrible cards? So this is stupid. So we are just going to stop right there. So we had 1 point. We've got -2 points. So now we are at 1, a -1, which puts us at 3 away. So we're going to lose 3 life. But what we're going to do is I'm going to use 2 of those life we lost to cull this card and 1 to cull this card. The reason I needed 2 was because it's got the 2 life points there, and it's those crappy aged cards. So we did not defeat this one. We'll go ahead and put that back over there. Let's grab 2 more hazards. And again, if you see any misplays, please let me know. All right, what do we want to try? Let's try for this one being the 1. We got 2 cards to get a 1. Great. Not only do we got the 1, we got a life. So we are going to go ahead and beat that one. Now, here's what's going to happen is we went through the first section of the hazard card. So we're going to flip this to the yellow. We're going to shuffle this up. Now, the nice thing is all the hazards that we successfully beat, we don't have to make it through a second time because they're part of our deck. So now we're going to go ahead and flip these over. And we're going to be going for the yellow. So we've got further exploring the island for 5 or further exploring the island for 5. I'm going to go ahead and go for this one because if we get it, we'll get a destroy card. And those cards come in handy for later. So let's go ahead and go for this one. I'm going to go ahead and take a drink. Let's go ahead and do a nice little pour. And again, this is Jefferson's bourbon. And you can get that bottle for under $40. And for under $40, it's a good deal. All right, so we've got 3 chances. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that did not help us. So we are 5 away. We'd lose 5 life on this one. I'm going to go ahead and pay a life. Okay. This card lets us copy a ability on another card. So now we're 4 away. Let's pay 1 more life. That's 2. So now we're 3 away. So we're going to go ahead and lose our 3 life. However, what we're going to do is we will cull these 2 cards, these 2 zeros. We're going to keep this one because that'll come in handy later still. And let's go on to our next hazard. All right, we've got with the Raft the Wreck for 1 or Cannibals for 9. I shouldn't, but we're going to go ahead and try for this 9 because if we can get that 4 later on, that's a big hit. That's a big win. So and we have 5 cards. So we've got 1, 2, nice. So what's nice is because this is a -1 phase, we now only have to get 5 instead of the 9. So I got to go ahead and shuffle these age decks. But remember, I've got to put in one of these crappy cards because we're cycling it through again. Let's go ahead and shuffle these up. And again, please feel free to ask any questions as people come in and out. Let's take a sip. All right, so 3, 4, 5. That one gives us 2 life. 1, 2. Let's see. And I'm going to go ahead and pay a life to get a card. That was not the one we wanted. Let's pay a life to get another card. Okay, so these below the piles let us put something below the pile, but I'm going to go ahead and put this one below the pile because we already got our 2 life for it, so that'll come in handy later. And we already used our phase 1, so let's make sure I go ahead and put that up to the side. So we still need 5, and right now we only have 2. I'm going to go ahead and pay a life to draw another card. And I'm actually going to tap the Destroy to get rid of this card so we don't lose the life. And we get rid of that card. I'm going to pay 1 more life to see if we can get lucky. We have a copy. Oh, darn it. This is not going to help us at all. Shoot, I was hoping we could get this one, but we've gone through so many cards. You know what? Let's go for broke. Let's do 1 more time. 1. So right now we have a total of 1, 2, 3. We are 2 away. All right, so we can either stop now and we're going to lose 2 life, but we can cull 2 of these crappy cards, or we can take a chance. I really want to get this because I don't want to have to fight it the next time. So we're going to pay 1 more life. Nice. We get a life. And I'm going to go ahead and where is a copy? Didn't we have a copy? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and copy this so we can get 1 more life. So we are at 1, 2, 3, 4. I will pay 1 more life to get 1 more card. Nice. And we got 1 life. So we got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. We use that Destroy. 5. And we went ahead and got that. So, and then because it was the phase, we didn't have to get to the yellow one. So what's nice is we're going to have that 4 coming back. Now, I don't know if that was a good strategic move or not. We went through a lot of cards on that, but we'll see how that worked out for us. So now we've got Wild Animals or With the Raft the Wreck. Let's go ahead and go for With the Raft the Wreck because that 7 is going to be hard to get. Go ahead and did 1 cards. That's going to give us +2 cards. So 1. And we can stop there because 1 and 1 equals. what we needed to get. So let's go ahead and try again. All right, we got wild animals and further exploring the island. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go for further exploring the island for 3. So, oh, nice. We're off to a start. We got the genius for 2. Now we're at 3. Plus 2 life. So we will take another of these crap age cards. We've got to reshuffle those. Now, if we run out of these cards, we lose the game. So we are at our 3 cards, but I'm going to go ahead and get an extra card because we want to get this when it's coming down. So we will pay a life to draw once more. Exchange. I always forget what the exchange does, so let me grab the rules real quick. Apologize. But the exchange always throws me off. So let's see what this one does. All right. You may exchange up to 2 of the other face-up cards following the same rules as above. Okay, so for exchange, you place 1 of the other face-up fighting cards on the Robinson discard pile and draw a new as a replacement. Sweet. All right, so we've got 2 of these. So what I'm going to do is we're going to discard the 0 and the 0, these 2, and draw 2 new cards. So these will go into our discard pile. That's 1, which is going to give us 1 life, and 2. And now we got our 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. That was a good little win right there. All right, let's go to our next hazard. We've got exploring the island, and we have further exploring the island. All right. We haven't got our high cards that I know were in here, so I'm going to take a chance and go for this 5. So let's see what we get. We get 1 below the pile, which right now I'm not going to worry about doing. Another 1, and there's 3. Oh, all right. But the good thing is this is going to be a -1 phase, so we only need 2 to defeat this one. So I'm going to go ahead and pay a life to draw an extra card. And it was not the card we wanted, so I'll pay a life to draw an extra card. Great. So now we got 2, which matches that one. So yeah, those phase cards, those minus phase cards really come in handy. All right, let's take a sip. All right, now let's go ahead and remember we're back to the yellow. So we got further exploring the island and exploring the island. I'm going to go ahead with exploring the island. We'll go ahead and 2 cards. All right, great. This is going to give us plus 2 cards, but first let's draw our second card. There's our first one, which is the +1 life. Now we get 2 bonus cards because of that. So 1, 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and tap that to copy that to give us 2 more cards. 1, 2. Right off the bat, we got it. And then what I'm going to do is, do I want to get rid of anything? Nope, I don't want to get rid of anything. So we went ahead and won that. We are going into our next hazard. Let's go ahead and go for this one. We just need to get a 1. Highest card equals 0. All right, I'm going to stop there. Actually, I'm not. Here's what we're going to do, because I don't want to. This is what we're going to do. So I've got another one of these crap cards that we're going to put in the deck. Do I want to pay a life? All right, I'm going to go ahead and pay a life. No, I'm not. We're going to go ahead and stop there. All right. We're going to go ahead for exploring the island. There's 1 card. which is a 4. Beats it right off the bat. See what I mean about having those higher cards for later? It definitely comes in handy. Okay, we got wild animals. Now, I rather had the 4 for that one. And with the raft to the wreck. Let's go ahead and go with wild animals. We've got 4 cards here. So 1, 2. We're going to get a life. Do that so I can remember we got our life. 3. And 4. Which gives us +2 cards. So right now we've got, +1 cards. We got 2, 3, 4. And we get 1 additional card because of this. Now this lets us take one of these cards and put it in the bottom. And what I'm going to do is take this destroy card and put it at the bottom. So no, I'm not. I'm going to take the +1 life. So we get it. No, because that's the point. Darn it. I'm going to go ahead and leave him there. All right. So right now we've got 2, 3, 4. Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to pay a life to get another card. So remember, this one lets us exchange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exchange these 2 zeros. Actually, this 0 and this 0 for 2 additional cards. So 1 and 2. This one's going to give us a life. And right now we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Nice. So we went ahead and beat that one. So that's going to make things a little bit easier on our next go around. Let's go ahead and flip over these 2 hazards. We got exploring the island. And I'm going to go with exploring the island because I don't want to try and get a 7 again. So there's 1 and 2. We got it. All right. And then when you get to 1, you can either pick this one or you can go ahead and put it back in. I'm going to try and be a little gutsy, and let's try for the 9, only because in the next go around it's going to be a 14. And if we can beat this one, we're going to get a 4. So let's go ahead and take a sip for good luck. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the cool thing is this is a phase minus phase 1. So now we only have to get 5. So let's look at the other cards that might come in handy. Okay, this one's going to give us +2. So we're going to go ahead and tap that so we can get our +2 cards. So here is our first additional card and a second additional card. That's nice. That's going to give us 2 life. Now, that did not give us the 5 that we needed. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and copy the 2 additional cards. So we're going to get 2 more cards. So 1 and 2. And let's double check what we have point-wise. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Let's just double check. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to pay 1 life to get 1 more. It's going to be a -2, but what we did not do is use our destroy card. So I'm going to go ahead and destroy that card. So it's not going to come into play. We are out of cards. So what we're going to have to do is shuffle these back up. And here's what we need to remember. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're at a +4 right now. I'm going to take all these, add that crappy age card. Let's go ahead and shuffle these up. All right. So remember, we're at 4. And that put us at 7. So we went ahead and got that one. That'll help us. That'll come in handy for later. Oh, I should have put those in. Sorry. These two are in there. These needed to be back in here. So let me reshuffle those. Yeah, the only cards that we should have in our discard were those last two that we got, which was the 3 that we needed and then the extra card. So and we are out of our hazard cards. So we are now in the red phase or orange phase, depending on what color you think that is. All right. Now we are going to either do wild animals or with the raft to the wreck. Okay. 11 or a 3. 11 or a 3. Shoot. Let's just go ahead and go for the 3. 0. Gonna pay a life. Another 0. We are 3 away, so we're going to lose 3 life. However, I'm going to use 2 of those lives to cull these zeros so we don't have to mess with them. And I think I just messed up, folks. All the cards that I had in here to cull, I mixed up in the deck. So, all right. Yeah. So that is not what you want to do. Let me go ahead and take a sip. And this is why. So here's a good example, and doing a live demo of this is probably a good case. I should have placed. So what I had been doing. So I'm going to call this game a loss. This one was just a loss. And for those who stuck through this and who aren't familiar with it, we would go through all the cards on the red. If we successfully defeated it, then we would fight these pirates. When you come across the pirates, so this first one would have been with 6 cards, we're going to get 20 points, and then it would have been fight against the remaining hazard cards. So I'm going to call this a lost because I wasn't paying attention, and I've done this actually a couple times. So here's a good tip for when you're culling the cards. There's a couple ways that you can do this. I had been putting it under here, and then as you could tell, I think I just got confused and mixed the 2 up, which is going to happen. What I should have done is the cards that you're culling, I should have put out completely out of reach. So, for example, at the beginning of the game, they have a card that you take out. That's card called Very Stupid. And what I did was, well, very stupid. So what I should have done is the cards that I've been culling, I should have taken these out and put them at completely out of hand's reach. Because and again, this is a good lessons learned. So the mistakes that I'll make the most is I'll get these cards mixed up because I'm not paying proper attention. And I always forget initially, especially at the beginnings, that it's equal to or more of. The other thing that I will always screw up the first couple of times I play, because for the longest time, I actually thought this was the rules, is when you're culling the cards, I always thought it was the life you lost plus additional life to cull those cards. And no, it's the life that you're losing. You can use that to cull the cards. So I'm going to go ahead and refix these. And this is one of those things where you're doing a live stream. So guess what? Things happen. And I would like to blame the alcohol, but for those that know me very well, the alcohol had nothing to do with that mistake. It was just not paying attention. I'm looking to see if anybody was chatting, but that's no excuse. And just kind of listening to the neighbors. But it is one of those things. So this is how quickly the setup though is back up. So what'll happen is we'll go ahead and put these hazard cards back. Then you'll put the age cards over here. So anything that has the beard, anything that's a hazard are going to be the 2 cards. And honestly, I could, even though this is live, I could just make the decision not to let it stay posted, because, I made just a huge mistake there at the end. But it's one of those things where I think it's important for people to realize when you're playing games, you're not always going to play it correctly. You're going to misinterpret the rules. You're going to play things wrong. You're going to do things wrong. For me, the most important thing is, are you enjoying yourself? Are you having fun? If you're having fun with the game, play it. If you misinterpret a rule and find that you're playing it the wrong way, but you still had fun, who cares? The only time it really would matter about the rules if you're misinterpreting them is if you're playing with a group of people, and you're having an unfair advantage because of that rule. But if everybody is playing to that same rule, then everybody's at that same, advantage point. It's going to happen. It's just one of those things that's going to happen. You're going to make mistakes. And I think as long as you have fun, that's all that matters. And what I found online is sometimes, you've got some trolls out there and whatnot who like to pinpoint everything that you did wrong. And some people take that in a negative manner. I don't. I appreciate the fact that people watch the video. I don't take myself too seriously. Anybody who's watched these videos since I started it, especially early on, the videos, I don't edit these very much. In fact, for the first, I think, year, I didn't even know how to edit. I would just turn it on, record, and was doing this with a $20 mic. Or originally, it was the mic that came with the laptop, and then a cheap $20 camera. But I do this because I enjoy it. I've made a lot of great friends doing this, and have met some interesting people. So it's been fun. I'm going to go ahead and stop here in a minute and just do the cleanup. But I wanted to show everybody. I'll probably do another live one later on tonight. I'm going to make some dinner, have a few more drinks. And again, the mistake that I made was the cards that I was culling, that I was putting underneath here, that last little bit, I mixed them together. And, I've done that a couple times, and I'll just go ahead and throw that as a loss. As it was going, I don't think I would have won anyway. I had a lot of misplays there, but I do appreciate everybody taking the time. And let's go ahead and pour one more little pour. And again, this was Jefferson's bourbon. And the game we were playing was Friday. It's a fun, great solo player game. And again, I do appreciate everybody that was watching this, those that are jumping in and out. Those couple that stayed the entire time, I do apologize for completely screwing up the game at the end. But that's kind of the fun of doing the live videos. And until next time, folks, cheers.